The iPhone 11 and iPhone 11 Pro have been out for just about a month, but Apple is still hard at work on one more iPhone they haven't released yet. It's not going to be drastically different or pack any new features in the phones we have now, but if you're a fan of smaller iPhones, this might be the one you've long been waiting for. So if you believe the rumor sites and credible Apple analysts like Ming-Chi Kuo, Apple is working on a smaller iPhone that is set to be launched in the early part of 2020, just a few months away, and it's supposedly going to be the successor to the iPhone SE that was launched back in 2016. And just as kind of a quick refresher, the iPhone SE was actually launched back in 2016, the same cycle as the iPhone 6s and 6s Plus, but it was launched in the spring and not in the fall at kind of that time slot reserved for the launch of the new flagship iPhones. It packed the same fast, powerful processor as the 6s and 6s Plus. It was the Apple A9 at the time, but it was in a much smaller form factor, extremely similar to the iPhone 5s with a 4-inch Retina display that was significantly smaller than the 5.5-inch display on the 6s Plus, and even smaller than the 4.7-inch 6s at the time. But over the years, as the iPhones got upgraded and got more powerful with better displays and better processors, the iPhone SE didn't get the same treatment. It kind of fell off to the wayside, and Apple never really mentioned it, upgraded it, or did anything with it. That wasn't until this past summer when Apple put the remaining stock on sale for $350, and many people were very excited. We even bought one and did a video on what it was like to use that phone here in 2019, and it kind of reignited this discussion and this demand for a smaller iPhone. If you haven't checked out that video that Matt did, go check it out now. We'll link to it down below. But kind of the conclusion to that video was the SE was still perfectly usable. It didn't have the best specs or the best camera in 2019 standards, but it was still really nice to use, and that 4-inch display was small, easy to use with one hand, and kind of a refreshing difference from what we have now. And if you actually go back and watch that original 2016 Apple announcement for the iPhone SE, the two reasons they gave for launching that smaller iPhone are still very true today.
First, for some people, they simply love smaller phones. They want the most compact iPhone design. Second, we found that for a lot of these customers, it's their first iPhone.
So for those same reasons, and also the fact that a smaller iPhone would be more budget friendly and much more economical, it looks like Apple may be bringing back a smaller iPhone, but it's not exactly going to be the reincarnation of the SE. It's going to be a little bit different. So according to all the rumors and kind of what we've been getting from analysts, this new iPhone 11 mini or iPhone SE 2 or whatever Apple ends up calling it is going to be way more similar to the iPhone 8 than any other iPhone, supposedly packing the same 4.7-inch Retina display in this new smaller body. And I know that's kind of disappointing for many people. A lot of people were kind of seeing these renders of this super small SE phone with an edge-to-edge bezel-less display with a notch for Face ID and basically the perfect one-handed iPhone, but it doesn't look like Apple is going to do that, though this phone would still have a smaller display than the 11 and certainly the 11 Pro and 11 Pro Max. And it would have the same A13 Bionic processor. It would supposedly have a better camera, better speakers, but it would be missing one big feature, and that is that it would not have Face ID. Supposedly, in an effort to keep costs on this device to a minimum, it looks like Apple would be opting for Touch ID instead of Face ID. Again, a big bummer, especially when you look at those renders of what the SE2 could look like. That edge-to-edge display with the notch just looks really beautiful in my opinion. But it looks like that would really be the only big compromise for this phone. You'd still, again, get the super fast A13 Bionic processor, you'd get better battery life, you'd get all the great internals of the 11 and 11 Pro in this smaller form factor, though you do only get one lens with this phone. That's the current rumor. It'd probably be just the standard 12 megapixel lens that we see on the 11 and 11 Pro. It would still have smart HDR and your pictures would still look great, but there would not be that option for a telephoto or wide angle lens, just the standard lens. So there are a couple of trade-offs here. You're not getting all the flagship level features of the 11 or 11 Pro, but you're also not paying the price of the 11 or 11 Pro. According to sources inside of Apple and different analysts and rumor sites, the price of this iPhone 11 mini would be $399. That's it. And for that price, you are getting a lot of iPhone. That is a very far cry from the $999 of the 11 Pro, and even substantially cheaper than the $699 price of the iPhone 11. So for $399, you're getting a lot of iPhone for your dollar. So now comes the big question, what do you guys think of the iPhone 11 mini or the iPhone SE2, whatever Apple ends up calling it? Is the screen size just too big? Is 4.7 inches for the display just too big and not small enough as that 4-inch display that many people would like? Is it the perfect, most powerful, the smallest iPhone you could get, and also coming in at a great price point? Leave a comment down below and let us know. I'm super curious to hear what you guys have to say and what your thoughts are on this rumored phone. Again, supposedly launching in the next couple of months in the early part of 2020. I'm Robert Rosenfeld from the Apple Circle. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.